The market bounces, then comes down as expected. Is it all downhill from here? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in last week's video, we talked about the fact that the ES had a potential 5 down and NASDAQ had 3 down, and we looked for a wave 2 and wave 4 bounce respectively on both charts, and that's exactly what we saw as the market bounced up and then sold down into the close. Now the question is, will they continue lower? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, it's still too early in the counts to fully know what we're getting to the downside, but the NASDAQ is hinting at a bigger down move. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. As I said last week, we did have the potential for 5 down here, and we would have looked for a wave 2 or a wave B bounce here. So you can get an A, B, or a 1-2. I'm counting it as 1-2 right now because of the NASDAQ. But we got exactly that. The market bounced up into our resistance region that we highlighted in last week's video, and then came down here and started to set up a 1-2-1-2 setup. Now, a 1-2-1-2 setup is where you get a wave 1 down here, a wave 2 up. You got a 1 of 3 down right here, a 2 of 3 up. So you have a 1-2 and a 1-2. You have wave 1 in the bigger sense, wave 2 in the bigger sense, wave 1 of a smaller, wave 3, or wave 1 inside of wave 3, and wave 2 inside of wave 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, which sets up for the 3 of 3 move, which should take us down toward the 45.25 region. Then we'd look for a bounce back up toward the 45.50 region, then a move down towards 44.97 to complete wave 3. So this would be the next steps in the building out a 5-wave structure. The pivot to the downside is 45.57 to 45.50. Once they get below 45.50 and hit 45.37, then this bearish count is valid until they either get down here to the 2.0 at 44.85, or they come back up and break back over 45.57, which would make this more of a corrective move down. And then we'd look for some bigger ABC waves to the downside, potentially. ES does still have the potential to take this higher. It's unlikely, in my opinion, based on the NASDAQ, but they do have the potential for this to be a bigger wave 3 up here at the top, this to be a wave 4, and then a wave 5 up towards 46.38. Again, that is not something that I am counting on or even very interested in, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind should they be unable to break support and we start to see them move back up over this 45.95 area. Over on the NASDAQ, okay, as we talked about last week, the NASDAQ had made 3 down, and I said they need at least a 4 and 5. Now, that doesn't mean that they're complete. This could be 4 of 3 and 5 of 3, and we could still see downside in this wave 5. So what we would expect here is a little bit more of a push down. They don't have to. We have 5 down now. 5 could be done here as it did poke lower than 3, although we would expect it to hit at least the 15,461, as that's the 0.5 of 1 through 4, and the 15,401 is that's a 618. If they break below 15,401 and then 15,326, that's a warning that we're already in wave 3 of 3. And what you saw here was wave 1 down and a very shallow wave 2, which I mentioned. When the selling starts to the downside, it gets aggressive and there's very little structure, meaning your wave 2s are going to be very weak. And that's what we see here on the NASDAQ. So it is possible that this was all of wave 2 and we're starting wave 3 of 3 down. I don't think that's the case, but it's something to keep an eye on overall. Again, past 15,401 is a warning of that happening, and then a breakdown below 15,326 would be a strong indication that they're trying to just go ahead and start wave 3 to the downside, and this was the end of wave 1 over here. Now, down here a little lower, remember 15,100 or so. It's actually a little lower than that. I think it's like 1567 or so. This is big support down here. If this breaks, then we have to see what kind of structure we're getting to the downside. If it's an impulsive structure, we're looking for a very, very large drop. If it is in corrective structure, which means 3 waves, by the way, impulsive means 5 waves, corrective means 3 waves. And we need it on a larger degree scale than the micro. The micro is a good start. It's a good building block, but we need to see it play out a little more. But in any case, A break of that 15,067 area would tell us that we're likely in the bigger pullback towards 14,000 or so, and then we'd look up from there. So pretty clear parameters on both. If this is going to be a wave 5, we would expect it to push down a little further and then look for an ABC back up and then down in 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and then the breakdown. So those are kind of what we're looking for on both charts. NQ to finish its wave 5 or potentially already be in 3, and ES to be in a wave 3 of 3 of a smaller degree. So that could line up with, as ES moves down in its 3 of 3, you could see NASDAQ come down here in its wave 5 and then start back up when the ES bounces as well. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, both charts, very clear parameters. We understand where we're watching for this to break and what supports we're looking for so that we can understand what kind of move we're going to see. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the web page. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans. They both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it and become part of our trading team before you ever spend a penny. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners course. You can buy it a la carte here. It is a 25-video course where I go over how to set up all of your chart and tools for Elliott Wave, how to get your mindset right, and how to understand Elliott Wave, and then each wave as it works, what the targets are, how you know if they're failing, what kind of structures are impulsive and or corrective, and how to go through that, and how to finally understand the market instead of trying to decipher the news cycles. The really cool part, guys, is if you don't want to pay for it a la carte, it is included in both monthly rooms. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months, so we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are interested in day trading as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures the trade that's so unique. Something you kind of have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account, averaging 3 to 4% gains per week, trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, the key takeaways for today. ES right now is consolidating right above the pivot, that 45.57 to 50 zone. If they're able to break through that, we would target 45.25, a bounce from there back towards 45.50, and then down toward the 45.05 area as its next moves in this pattern to the downside. However, should they bounce it back up over this 45.89 area, we could see a bigger B wave up towards the 45.95 area, or possibly even a wave 5 higher into the 46.38 area. However, given the NASDAQ setup, I don't believe that to be the case. Over on the NASDAQ, same type of setup. We have a wave 5 continuing to the downside. We would expect it to hit 15,461 to 15,401. Below that becomes a warning that we're already in wave 3, especially if they break down below 15,326.25. If they do bottom here, we would look for an ABC bounce up back toward about the 15,800 region and then down from there. Guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.